Hello beautiful people, and welcome to today's pick a card reading, where we will be looking at the current energy of the person on your mind. We'll be looking at their current energy towards you and your connection, and we have 3 piles to choose from, piles 1, 2, and 3. You can choose as many or as little as you would like out of the piles, and personal readings are available. They are more available now than before because I have a whole lot more time on my hands in the month of July, except for next week, but I mean half of next week. But anyway, if you want to book with me, you can follow the link to my link tree, and you'll find all the information you need there, and you can always send me an email as well. And besides that, there will be an extended for this reading, which I've already filmed everything, so there is an extended for this reading, and there we're looking at the foreseeable future potential of this connection based on current energies. We got tons of channeled messages from the person on your mind. We have some in these readings as well. And we also got channeled messages from your higher self and additional advice to fill in the gaps where needed. So if you're interested, the links for that will also be somewhere down below. If not, that is also perfectly fine. Yeah, I think on that note, I will leave you to focus on which deck calls to you the most, and I will see you soon. Hello my beautiful pile ones, and welcome to your reading. I'm just gonna put this here actually. I wanted to make it obvious that this is pile 1. But yeah, we will be looking at how the person on your mind is currently feeling about you and your connection, and we will start by kind of building the framework of where this connection might be at and where this person is at. We will clarify with the tarot, we'll get some channeled messages, and finish off with some affirmations. We will also have an extended, which I will talk about later on, not now. So let's get into this first. Starting off, we have the tarantula. We have number 29, stay back. Number 11, good things. We have the 10 of wands. We have temperance. Sagittarius energy could be significant. And we have the 4 of wands. There is a lot of fiery energy. So any of the fire signs or any of the fire sign seasons could be significant. I know that sounds vague, but it's just for additional confirmation anyway, so don't worry about it if it doesn't make sense to you. We have moon, soul. And we have number 19, let go. And this makes me think of the sun card in the tarot, just because it's the number 19. And this is the moon. So we, I guess, in some sense, have a sun and the moon energy. But I am drawn to, first of all, the fact that we have quite literally the moon card here, but then the 19 here is what makes me think of the sun card. And I get the sense that you and this person are in very different spaces in terms of your relationship to your own self, as well as your how you perceive this connection, as well as potentially how you perceive the world around you. It feels like you both have a very different approach, and so this may have been a connection where there were a lot of miscommunications or misunderstandings, or just disagreeing on how to do things or what you should do within this situation. I'm getting a bit of an overthinker energy from this person. They may overanalyze, over-rationalize, and just constantly try to make sense of things in their head. But at the same time, I feel like that brings them a lot of anxiety, and right now they are in a space where they feel a lot of anxiety, but they're not quite sure how to express that or how to find an outlet for it. I don't think this anxiety necessarily just relates to this connection. But with this Ten of Wands and Temperance, this person is seeking some kind of balance in their own energy. I think right now they feel very overwhelmed, and this kind of is shaped like a brain for me, on the back of the Temperance card. So I feel like they're really stuck in their mind and stuck in their thoughts, and they're having difficulty tapping into their feelings and understanding what they're feeling, because I think the thing that comes through the strongest is that they are overwhelmed and they can't kind of identify a single feeling. I think this is also because this person is used to using logic as their main way of navigating the world. I think they are really good with that. I think they're good at coming up with practical solutions and solutions for practical things, except for when it comes to dealing with their emotions. I think they're in this hot and cold energy of, I want good things, but I don't know if I deserve them. So it's like a very strong push and pull of this person constantly not being able to make up their mind, or not being able to feel aligned within themselves enough to pursue the things that they see as good, especially when it comes to emotional contexts. And I feel like this is a connection where they feel like they are not able to take on much more right now. Where you are with this person, I'm not necessarily getting a separation energy. You could be in separation with this person, but you could also be married to them and you are going through like a period of disconnection. A period of disconnection and like just not understanding each other too well. It feels like they're in a place where even a single drop of something would just be too much for them, and they feel way too overwhelmed, like they've just weaved their own web around their own self, and they're caught in it too, and they don't know what to do or who to be or how to feel better. I feel like their energy is quite chaotic right now, and for some of you this could be because maybe if you had a confrontation with this person, maybe about for some of you, this person may have been like secretive or just very difficult to read, and you may have confronted them about it. And if you did, I feel like that has put them in a very uncomfortable energy of not knowing where to hide or where to be or what to do or how to deal with any situation that they're presented with right now within this connection, because they are afraid of being found out. Not necessarily because they've done something horrible, but I think it's because this person judges their own self quite harshly, and there seems to be just a sense of impending anxiety of being found out, of being not good enough. I think they're in a very insecure energy, but it also feels like they would not necessarily want to be exposed or caught feeling this kind of way. I think this might be someone who has quite like I think they feel quite misunderstood. And like people are set on misunderstanding them as well. With this Four of Wands, normally I, more often than not, take this as a very positive card. But in this case, it somehow feels, also with the way these Four of Wands are not foundations, but they more so seem like blocks, like obstacles. And it almost feels like by overthinking, this person has made situations a whole lot more complicated or a whole lot more difficult to understand. Like they have kind of an inaccurate view of what is going on around them, because it is very heavily subjectively biased by the chaos in their inner world. And of course, we're all a bit biased when we perceive situations because, yeah, we're human and that's what we do. But I feel like this person doesn't like I don't know how to explain this energy. It's quite chaotic. It's very up and down. For some of you, this person might use a substance or may have some kind of addiction. This won't be the case for every single one of you, but for some of you, I feel like this erratic energy may be related to some kind of dependency that they might be experiencing right now. This doesn't necessarily have to be a dependency to a substance, but there is a bit of like a devil kind of energy. I think within your connection, they feel very drawn to you, but at the same time, they feel really scared. And I don't think they would necessarily admit this, but I think they are afraid of you or intimidated by you to some extent. And it feels like that's what makes them avoid this energy or disconnect, because they don't quite know how to approach it. I think they're very guarded. I think they might be keeping their distance from you, but then approaching you every now and then to test the waters. But it also feels a bit like they're just going in spirals. They may repeat the same behavioral patterns. They may like shut down, and it might be very difficult to understand this person right now. It really feels like they're in a bit of a survival mode and they're trying to get answers for themselves, but they're not really able to get any answers because they're just going along the same paths and repeating the same behaviors or repeating the same thoughts and just wrapping themselves up in this cocoon, but it's not even actually where they want to be. I hope that makes sense. This is not the easiest energy to explain, but it feels like you have provided this person with an opportunity for a lot of comfort, for a lot of generous energy, for a lot of nurturing energy. Like, you have been very, very giving towards this person, but it feels like they escaped from it, or they thought that's not what they wanted, or they weren't able to match that energy, and that difference, that dissonance became more obvious as time went by. I don't think this person would be able to explain how they feel either. They might do it in like very simple terms, like I'm angry, when there might be like 5 other emotions that underlie that anger. I think they are in a very triggered space right now. I think the intimacy within this connection, or the level of the connection, and how you've been fearless towards them, in the sense that I don't think you were afraid to call this person out or point things out if they've ever been inconsistent. I don't think you've been like, even if you have in the past, it feels like you may have started like not being okay with some of this person's behavior that you may have been okay with in the past. And it feels like that makes this person uncomfortable, to put it very lightly. I think they are quite almost tortured, this energy. And it's really strange because looking at these cards, like good things, moon, soul, which is a bit more ambiguous, temperance, 4 of Wands, normally these are not cards that would feel like so much chaos and feel like so much pain and difficulty and challenge and frustration and anger. But with this person, it feels like it comes down to their perspective and how they perceive this situation and how they perceive themselves. I think they have a very distorted image of their own self. It's interesting in the sense that I think they are aware of situations within this connection where they did you wrong or where they went wrong. But at the same time, it feels like they might actively rationalize those behaviors or find excuses. But at the same time, it feels like they don't fully believe these either. So it feels a bit like they're unable to be honest with their own self, and potentially then they are also not able to express themselves authentically to you either, because they just don't understand themselves. I think they're right now in a place where they are a bit more avoidant. They are not really wanting to get into the depths of this connection. With Temperance, it almost feels like they would rather have more of a surface level balance rather than like getting in too deep. For some of you, I'm also getting this sense that they might test the waters with you to see if you would still be willing to give to them, or what type of energy you would be willing to give to them. But it feels like in terms of their own energy, they are more inclined to stay back and observe, or stay back and receive at this moment in time. I think there is a lot of unresolved beliefs, a lot of unresolved trauma potentially for some of you in this person's energy. That's not going to be the case for every single one of you necessarily, but it just feels like for all of you there is something plaguing this person and haunting them from their past. But it also feels like they wouldn't even be able to tell you what this is if you ask them, in the sense that I don't think this is someone who is good at or someone maybe who's not that good at scratch that. I think for some of you, this is someone who is not able to be very introspective. I think this is someone who is not able to connect with their own self. And when they lack that connection internally, they may be more inclined to fill that void with external things. And it also feels like they may be more inclined to just take and take, but when it comes to giving, they are not able to match that kind of deep, nurturing energy. Because also, I think this person is never really given that kind of energy to their own self, even if it may seem like they have been selfish or very self-centered or just caring for themselves. I feel like this person has pretty much neglected their own self as well. It feels a bit like they have maybe nurtured the shell, or they have maybe nurtured like what is visible to some extent, or they guard what is visible. But when it comes to what's on the inside, like inner child, it almost feels like they abandoned their own inner child, like they abandoned themselves in certain ways, and it feels like that might be reflecting into this connection as well. I think this person I think they feel lonely. I think your energy used to bring them a lot of comfort, but right now it's somewhere between feeling just very comfortable in the familiarity of it, but also very, very uncomfortable because it's too close to them. And I think this person is not used to people being so close to them. I think they're not used to someone in some way being able to kind of see through them or calling them out. I think usually they either ignore it or just pretend it's not happening, or just start anew and repeat the same behaviors, but kind of ignore the fact that it is repeating itself. Like they might act in the exact same way or do the exact same things and then be surprised when the outcome doesn't change. So I feel like this is someone who is quite stuck in their own energy and quite stuck with kind of the same set of behaviors that are pushing good things away from them. And then that might be a self-fulfilling prophecy in the sense that I knew good things weren't meant for me, so I will just avoid these good things. It kind of feels like a bit of a negative loop that they are in right now. This doesn't mean this energy will never ever change, but I do feel that this person is struggling a lot right now. I think they are very overwhelmed. I think they are quite burnt out. I think they are still trying their best to maintain some sort of like stable, peaceful image, but it also feels like there is so much more going on within them and in their head than what they are showing to the external. It's like you were building foundations with this person and then they suddenly kicked them all to the side and it just became all crooked, and put all these obstacles. I don't know, it's hard to kind of pinpoint the context of this energy or what exactly happened here. But I feel that's also because this person does not seem to have a very accurate image of what is going on or what happened or what they may have done on some level. It's not like they're completely blind to it, but I also feel like they don't really have a grasp of the situation and the details of it. But this is just their perspective that I am tuning in on, and this does not mean that this is like the objective truth of a situation. This is just meant to represent where they are at within this connection. But we will, let's get some tarot, because I want to understand this energy better. We also have, before I get into the tarot, I'll quickly talk about the extended so that that's out of the way. But in the extended, we will look at the foreseeable potential of this connection. We will get tons of channeled messages from the person on your mind, both from the deck and also from the message bag. We will also get channeled messages from your higher self on how to deal with the energies of this situation, as well as what is coming through for the potential of the connection and the foreseeable future. And we will also get some advice at the end, additional advice. And I already filmed pile 2 before yours, and they're extended. And there I also went into kind of what they might need to know about what's going on. But yeah, we'll see what comes through. Anyway, let's get into the tarot and see how this person is currently feeling towards you and the connection. Okay, that's interesting. What is that? We have the 10 of Pentacles and the 7 of Wands in reverse. It's like you were offering them this very stable energy, but they are already so set in their ways and so set in their beliefs that they maybe didn't see it as what it was. Like maybe they didn't recognize what you were offering them or understand it fully. So they may have walked away or just distanced themselves from this connection. There is definitely an energy of feeling disconnected, but I don't know if that necessarily means you are not with this person. But what is this person's current energy? We have the Hermit in reverse. I was just talking about how this person may not be someone who is able to easily do introspection and understand their own actions and how they might be affecting you and how they might be showing up in this connection, and how the way that they have shown up in this connection could be negatively affecting the dynamic. It feels like maybe this dynamic was not very equal, the dynamic that you had. Maybe one of you was giving a lot. We have the King of Swords in reverse. They have confused themselves about this connection. to the point where I think they are having difficulty trusting their own thoughts and their own perceptions as well. But at the same time, they seem to have this thought that, well, it's better than just taking anyone else's word for it. I'm still going to be the best judge of this situation. I think they may have some beliefs that are a bit more rigid in terms of like how they approach situations. I'm just gonna look at what these cards are. I'm not gonna take them because it's too many, and if they want to come out, they will. They always do. But we have the Queen of Pentacles, the Nine of Pentacles, Five of Pentacles in reverse, the Magician, and Death in reverse. This is someone who recognizes your value, but at the same time, it feels like they're unable to support that belief and that understanding with their own actions. This doesn't have anything to do with you or what you have provided in this connection or how you have shown up, but it has everything to do with how this person seems to be in a very difficult space within their own self and how they seem to be resisting any kind of profound change to their energy. Again, this doesn't mean that this is where they will be forever. It doesn't mean that this is the final snapshot of their energy. But it might mean that with this person, it is a very, very slow moving energy. And they seem to have a lot of catching up to do with their own self and their own behaviors, their own choices. We have the King of Pentacles in reverse. We have the Page of Cups. Right now, they're definitely more comfortable connecting on a more of a surface level. I don't think that's necessarily because they don't feel a deeper kind of connection. I think it's more so because this is where it's comfortable for them. I think they're more comfortable with shallow waters, and I think they would rather not venture into the deep too much. And it feels like maybe they have struggled to match your depth or your understanding of situations, and that difference in energy is maybe really sticking out around this time within the connection. We have the Three of Wands. I think they might be in a more of a spontaneous and reckless kind of energy. Like, it doesn't feel like they plan anything. It more so feels like they may be in a place of acting without really thinking. Acting without really considering the outcomes or how it may come back to them in the future or how it might impact everything. We have the Two of Pentacles in reverse. So within them, there is definitely a lot of chaos, and it's hard to single out like a single emotion or to say what exactly they're feeling, because I think they are quite disconnected from that space, and it's just coming through as being overwhelmed and anxious and uncomfortable. We have the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. They're coming through as really indecisive. Like, they're not quite sure what to do next or how to act or how to show up or what to say or if they should say something or how to go about it. I think they feel that you have a perception of them that they are either not trustworthy or not like someone that you can depend on, or they're not able to provide for you, something along those lines. And I think they want to change that perspective that you have, but at the same time, they don't know how to change it, mainly because I think they see themselves in that same exact way. And it might not even be how you see this person at all. They could just be projecting their own perception of themselves and acting like that's how you see them. But there is a sense of like not wanting that to be the last thing you think of them, or like not wanting that to be your eternal impression of them. But I think in some ways that has been their own perception of their own self. So I feel like they are really struggling with some insecurities that they have about their own self. I think if they had like, I don't know, they may feel like they need to be a certain way to be good enough, or they may feel like I don't know, gender roles are coming through very strongly for some reason. So for some of you, this person might feel like they need to fit into some kind of gender role to prove themselves as well. That's not necessarily going to be the case for every single one of you, but that is something that is coming through. Also, I will just push these up a tiny bit more because I realized the cards are cutting off a tiny bit. Okay. We have the Seven of Swords, and we have the Tower. This person wants change, but they are also not able to take the necessary actions right now, or kind of not even the actions. I feel like their energy is not necessarily even there, but it's just so stuck in their mind, going in the same circles. So that is the first obstacle that they have to just destroy and get past. But at the same time, I feel like they are quite detached from their emotional space right now, because it just feels like it's chaos within them, and I think they are avoiding dealing with the stronger waves, and they just rather hang out on the shore where it feels a bit safer, where if the waves come on too strong, you can just kind of run back to the beach, back to the sand. But at the same time, you're kind of just stuck there. It's like this person is stuck on their own personal island, but they're not exploring what's like beyond the waters, because they're afraid of the waters, that the waters are going to get them. Water being their feelings. I feel like they are in a very avoidant space right now. Maybe there was a confrontation or a separation, something along those lines recently, but I also feel like this is an energy that has been brewing and that has been building within them. Let's get some channeled messages to see what they would say to you. I cut the deck and we have, I don't know how to express myself. I'm going to take this because I feel like this is very relevant to the energy this person is in right now. I feel like we don't see eye to eye. What message wants to come through from this person for pile one, please, universe? What message wants to come through? I feel called to say for some of you, this might be a past energy, and you will find the future in one of the other piles. I have a good idea of which one it's gonna be, because I'm seeing a number in my mind's eye, but I'm not gonna tell you because I don't want to influence you. But if you feel like this has happened already, there could be a message for you in one of the other piles. We have, I feel pressured and I don't want to hold you back. For some of you, this person might feel really scared of this connection, but also very drawn to it. And they might feel like if you walked away from them, it would make it easier, because then you would have made a choice and they can't reverse that, or they can't like change their mind, because I think they change their mind all the time. So they're kind of seeking a more stable energy, someone who is sure, but also I think that makes them feel pressured as well. It's kind of a lot of conflicting energies. We have something doesn't feel right, yeah, but not identified. It's like they don't know what it is. And we have, I don't want to repeat the past. And bottom deck energies, I can't stop thinking about the past. This might refer to the past of this connection. That is all of the channeled messages we're getting for now. And we will now finish off your reading with some affirmations for you. Optional as always. You don't need to take any of this advice or listen to it, but if you want to, here it is. So what does pile 1 need to hear right now? What does pile 1 need to hear right now, please, universe? What message is relevant? We have indecision. I use my intuition in all aspects of life. If you are unsure about this person or this connection or how to act, I feel like you need to cut out a lot of the external noise. You might be getting a lot of mixed messages from the outside, either from people around you or like even tarot. And if you are doing a lot of tarot readings for yourself, stop, because you're just confusing yourself probably. I have been there too. But when you read for yourself, it takes a lot of, I mean, if you know for sure that you are not biasing anything, then go for it. But I feel like it is definitely a skill to practice. It took me a long time before I was just not completely biased and thinking of the worst possible things that could potentially happen. But if you're reading your own cards a lot, or just watching like 20 readings back to back for confirmation, if you know it in your intuition, you don't need that much confirmation. You don't need it 20 times. It can be fun sometimes, but it's also sometimes confusing, because you'll watch 19 readings and the 20th reading will say something different, and you're gonna be like, oh my god, my intuition is wrong. I'm gonna watch 20 more to make sure. So don't, I mean, essentially do what you want. But if your mind is overcrowded and there is just too much noise, sometimes it makes it difficult to hear your intuition itself, because your intuition is not going to scream at you like those other noises. It's just going to be like, hey, think you should know, you know. So yeah, I'm rambling a bit, so I will stop. But we have surrender. I can release my need to control. You don't need to control this person. You don't need to force feed them any wisdom. You don't need to do their healing for them, or you don't need to spoon feed them realizations or do any of those things, because essentially then you are just wasting your own energy. And sometimes we have to let people do the work themselves, because they need to do the learning, they need to do the understanding. And if you just do their homework for them, they're not going to get anything out of it. They might get a good grade, but then when the real exam comes, they're not going to be able to pass because they don't know. And that doesn't mean you need to like abandon people when they're healing or anything along those lines, but it's more so just about allowing people to take responsibility for their own well-being as well, and knowing that you are not the sole person responsible for this person's or anyone else's well-being. We have worry. I'm learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. This is very true. And I think this is one of the best skills to practice if you feel called to do so, to recognize that by worrying, we are just prolonging the potential pain when the pain might not be coming at all anyway. But by worrying about it, we already live it. We already are going through it. And sometimes it's better and more peaceful to just wait and see and then react to what's going on. I also feel called to mention how much purple there is, and bottom deck energy is also purple. I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things, which does not mean that you must be eternally forgiving and super zen, feeling no emotions other than peace. But it is about making the best of the situations that we are in. But going back to how much purple I'm seeing, I feel like you need to connect to your own intuition. Maybe you've been getting secondhand information, or there's just maybe too much noise around you, or something along those lines. But as always, all advice is optional, and freedom is the bottom deck energy, as I was saying that. So you are free to do what you feel called to do. Doesn't matter what I say, doesn't matter what anyone else says. It matters what you say, because it's your life. So on this note, this is all I have for you for this reading. If you are joining me in the extended, see you in a few minutes. If not, I am sending you so much love. Take care. Also, if you're joining me in the extended, I'm sending you so much love, but I will also send you more love later. But yeah, take care and bye. Hello, my beautiful pile twos, and welcome to your reading if you chose the Apparition Tarot. And this quartz thing. If you also were confused between this one and pile one, that is okay, because you were actually supposed to be pile one, but while I was shuffling, I kept calling you pile two, so I figured that's what you're supposed to be. So you are pile two now, and that already makes me feel like this is the energy of someone you have had some kind of past with. Maybe you went through a separation or a really rough patch with this person where you may have been in no contact for a while, or you may have separated for a while. And this kind of feels like a second chance, like it's your second time with this person. You don't necessarily need to have had a very long history with this person, but it feels like something breaking apart and then coming back together. It feels like there is some kind of transformation. And I also just saw 111 on the time, so that could be significant. It could be a significant sign for someone, but it doesn't have to be. So if not, don't worry about it. But let's get into this. So today we are looking at this person's current energy towards you and your connection. I already got some oracle cards and some tarot, so we can get the framework of their energy, and you can see if this sounds like your situation or not. So yeah, let's get into it. To start off, we have the Cobra to represent their energy. We have number 12, calm within transformation. We have number 64, healing through rest. We have death, Scorpio energy could be significant. We have the 3 of Wands. We have a plane flying above, so you could be at a distance with this person. This could have been a long distance situation for some of you as well, with the 3 of Wands and the plane, but doesn't have to be. With the Lovers, we have Gemini energy. June could have been significant for this connection, late May to early June. We have number 52, void of course moon missing. And we have number 35, walk your truth. This is there is a lot going on here, and I really don't know where to begin. And I feel like this person is quite overwhelmed by what has been going on within this connection. This could, for some of you, also be things that they're dealing with in their own personal life. Like something to do with career, but for most of you, I feel like there has been some kind of big shift in at least the energies of this connection recently. For most of you, I think it's going to be more than just the energies. I think you will have experienced some kind of physical shift, maybe in the dynamic. It feels like there could have been a bit of a tower moment where something broke off. Maybe there was a lot of tension that had built, maybe resentment towards each other, or maybe childhood wounds kind of interfering with how you interact with each other. This may have been a connection with a lot of miscommunications, especially in the past. And if you have not been in contact with this person recently, for most of you, it just feels like you have, or you will be. I I don't want to generalize, and your situation does not have to fit into like exactly the same box as everyone else, but it just feels like there is some kind of interaction going on here. It doesn't feel like either of the people in this connection have moved forward fully or have disconnected completely from this connection. In fact, it feels like maybe in the past things were more difficult, but even if you are not with this person right now, it feels like the energies are becoming clearer. It feels more smooth. It feels like things are flowing again. But getting into this person's energy specifically, I think they're trying to walk a balanced line between staying true to their own self, maintaining their individuality in this connection, and in general, doing the things they love, hanging out with their friends, being with their family. But I think they're also trying to find a way to allow themselves to truly depend on another person as well. With this Cobra energy, they are very, very drawn to you. I think they are almost intoxicated by this connection. But at the same time, it almost feels like they don't necessarily know what to do with that kind of energy. I also just saw 555. Like the moment I looked at the camera to make sure everything looks fine and we're still recording, 555, which for me is a number of big change. It's shifts and transformations, which only just further confirms this death energy. And also we have calm within transformation and healing through rest. So I think there are very intense shifts happening. However, I also don't feel like this person is straight up directly aware of these shifts that are happening. I think they are happening as they kind of just think about this situation or interact with you, but I don't think they have so much awareness so far of their inner world that they would be able to articulate what is happening. But it feels like you have pushed them, not necessarily intentionally, to the space of doing introspection, to the space of learning through their past behavior, to the space of trying to understand your needs, because it almost feels like in the past this person could have been a bit more hyper independent and a bit more maybe selfish in their own actions. And being selfish is not always a bad thing, but it feels like in this case this was damaging to your relationship. It feels a bit like they were very guarded around their own self. They were very protective to the point where they may have pushed you out completely, even though there was this very strong desire for connection as well. It feels like even with this very, very strong connection that the two of you have, which this person is definitely aware of, and I think they're becoming more aware of it as we speak as well, especially if you've had like kind of a break and then interacting with each other again kind of situation. Because in the past, they may have just been confused by certain obstacles between the two of you. Maybe distance, maybe you were long distance, maybe they were focusing on their career and they were scared that they were going to lose their job, or they were worried about finances or their studies or figuring out their life. Whatever this kind of third party obstacle was or is, and this doesn't always have to be a person, it could be, but then you would know. I feel like whatever is going on in this connection, you have already talked about. But also when it comes to this person's feelings and their thoughts and them articulating what's going on in their inner world, I think that is a skill that they are still learning. And I think you have been integral in that sense, that this person has learned a lot of communication skills from you just by kind of observing you, or maybe you push them to have certain uncomfortable conversations with them. Like you almost had to lure them out of their hiding space. Not because they were unwilling necessarily, but I think they just were unable to express some emotions or what exactly was going on with them. And I see them opening up because something very healing has happened here, it seems. Even if the healing thing, it actually seemed like a really horrible thing. I'm getting a very strong separation energy, but then it seems like that separation has brought you together closer energetically. It feels like you've both maybe had some time to think to yourself. I'm also really drawn to how we have like two skeletons here, kind of seemingly going in different directions. But if you take this out of the 2D, you can also kind of perceive it as this person going diagonally towards the other person. I guess if they go fast enough, but and maybe that makes sense because it feels like you may have been further along your spirituality journey or your healing journey in certain ways than this person was, and maybe that was causing a bit of a mismatch in the energies. And it almost feels like this person is catching up with you, whether they recognize this fully or not. They may have been opening up to more spiritual experiences. They may see signs that they are just really impressed by or enchanted by. Like, they may have been the most practical person ever, and they might, through interacting with you, be becoming more open to the idea that maybe there is more than what meets the eye to their existence and to this connection and to a lot of other things in their life as well. Right now, I think they're trying to make the best of this situation, but I also see hope. And I'm also again drawn to, there are two snakes here. There's two of everything. So you could be mirroring each other in certain ways as well, or really dealing with like, I'm gonna say opposite wounds. This person might be hyper independent, and you maybe in the past you may have been in connections where you were codependent, or maybe they were in connections that they were codependent and they wanted to break out of that, so they kind of went in the other extreme direction of hyper independence. The exact logistics will be different for every single one of you, but I was thinking 52 and 35. Oh, it's mirrored, but it is not. But it almost is. And there is construction going on outside, and there is so much going on. I feel like there is so much going on in this connection as well, and my environment right now is also mirroring that. I mean, not too happy about the construction, but if it is a sign that this situation is under construction, then I can bear with construction right outside my window for a little bit. This person might be, if you are at a distance, maybe the distance has highlighted a lot of the problems that already would have existed within the connection, but it may have come out faster than they normally maybe would have. So it may have felt like everything is coming all at once. Oh, we're not compatible. It almost feels like someone may have acted prematurely because it felt right in the moment, or they felt a bit hopeless or desperate. They were losing hope in their ability to make this connection work. So it's a bit of a running kind of energy as well, but then it feels like this running has awakened something in them. Like they got further away from the connection and suddenly they could see the bigger picture because of the distance. If you have been separated from this person, I think there is a lot of daydreaming. There is a lot of passionate, excited energy. But at the same time, I think this person is being cautious. I think they're taking it slow. I don't think they want to rush into anything. But at the same time, I think they feel so much passion that it's also difficult to keep this energy at bay. So they may come across a bit unreadable and a bit hot and cold, but I think that is also because they don't want to come on too strong. And they don't want to rush into something before they know what to do, before they know if this is truly something that they can resolve. I think you've really made a space for yourself in this person's life and in their heart. Also, your bottom deck energy, when I was shuffling, I just remembered, I wanted to show you this. Your bottom deck energy when I was shuffling, this deck was gifts from the past. And it feels, for one, that they are taking lessons from the past and learning things. I almost fell off my chair. But at the same time, and I think this energy might feel a bit wobbly because of this as well, because these are like new concepts that this person is dealing with, or new revelations about their own energy, about how they've been acting, about how they may not have shown up in a version of themselves that they would say they're proud of within this connection. But also I wanted to show you this because if I feel for some of you, you may have given this person something. It could be a gift, it could be a letter, it could be a note, it could be a drawing, it could be like something for their birthday that you gave them. And I think they really cherish whatever that is. I think that made a huge impact on them. If you were wondering, if you gave them something and you were wondering, maybe that is confirmation. Oh, okay, interesting. This card just popped out from under this, and these cards fell out from like right here, and we have love grows love, which makes me think of that, and we have repopulation. It feels like something has left and it's coming back. Something is growing again in this connection. And you know that song, Love Grows When My Rosemary Goes? It's making me think of that song. But let's get into the tarot. And then we will also have an extended for this reading, which I will quickly actually mention before I forget. So we will look at the foreseeable potential of this connection based on current energies. We will get tons of channeled messages from this person that we are channeling, and we will also get tons of channeled messages from your higher self, as well as additional advice on what to do with these energies, how to sift through them, or yeah, what actions you might take, whatever is most significant for you to know about this connection. So yeah, that part will be a bit of it'll be spontaneous. But anyway, if you want to join me there, you can find the link for that in the description box below. If not, that is also perfectly fine. But let's get back into this now. Pile 2, please. What is this person's current energy? We have the Four of... Is this the King of Cups? It is. We have the Four of Wands. Cancer energy could be significant. We have the King of Cups in reverse as well, or Cancer season. We are in Cancer season as I am filming. Happy birthday to all of us. Maybe someone's birthday is happening soon as well. Mine is, but this isn't about me. But yeah, I don't know. I just felt like saying happy birthday to someone. Or maybe something happened for someone on this person's birthday or your birthday. Or you gave them a gift on their birthday while in separation. I don't know. Anyway. Where is this person at currently with this connection? What is in their energy? We have the Six of Cups in reverse. There is such a nostalgic energy because this person seems to feel such a deep connection to you. But at the same time, with this King of Cups in reverse, it feels like they're not able to kind of stay balanced in that energy. It feels like, for one, they're not able to really express what they're feeling, and I think they are also scared by the depth of what they're feeling. I don't think this person is someone who like separates from people and then more like pines after them, but within this connection, it feels like that's what happened. And I think this person was not expecting that, because I think they can be quite methodical with their separations. Like, they can just say, yeah, it didn't work out, I will move forward. And that doesn't mean they don't get sad about things, of course, but it just feels like maybe they were able to grieve in a very smooth way, or fill their life with other things enough that they would not like go back and ruminate about the connection. But it feels like with this connection, that is what has happened. That is what is happening. And this person really misses what you had. There is such a strong sense of home within you that this person feels. What is this person's current energy towards? We have the Four of Cups. Yeah, there is a rumination. This person, I think they're potentially really meditating about, and not necessarily meditating as in quite literally meditating, but more so just meditating on the thought, like thinking about it, of the potential of this connection, of what they could potentially do, of how they could potentially move this connection forward. But I think they also have a lot of fears and anxieties right now around how to move this connection forward. Because one, I get the sense that they may have done something that really damaged the connection between the two of you. And I think there is this sense of, would they take me back? Would they say yes? Would pile two want me back? Did I really, really mess up? Is this like the big lesson that I'm gonna learn in life? That I messed up the best thing in my life? The one thing that gave me so much energy, but I took it for granted. That's kind of what it feels like. I was also just in a trance. If you asked me what I just said, I would not know, honestly. Anyway, I also feel like that speaks of how this person might feel around you, or how they might feel so sucked into this connection, so drawn to it in a way where they kind of just forget about a lot of things, or forget about their worries, or they don't want to think about the negativity in their life because there is suddenly so much positivity. But I also feel like this person has not been the best at showing you that, and showing you how much they value you. There is really a sense of, I just saw 2323. There is just really this strong sense of, I did not act from a space of highlighting the positives to pile two, but I highlighted what was wrong, or I focused on what was wrong in this connection, or I didn't make them feel like they were adding good things to my life when I should have, because I forgot how important it is to mention the positives as well, and to show someone you appreciate them. That kind of feels like a thought stream that they might have, not in those exact words, but I think this person feels very lucky to have met you, and also that they have not shown you that they feel that. With the sun coming out as the bottom deck energy here, and we have the moon, I feel like there is such a strong sense of connection that this person feels for you. And I know I keep repeating it, but I also feel like they keep thinking about it too. There really could be mirroring between the two of you. You may feel very similarly about this person. You may also feel like maybe you focused more on the negatives of this connection when you were in it. And then when you took a step back, maybe you could see the positives more clearly. I also feel like you may have I was thinking of this card, and I cut the deck, and we have the Queen of Cups, we have the King and the Queen. And we have the Queen upright, so it feels like someone here, which I feel this speaks of your energy, regardless of gender. It's just energy. But I get the sense that maybe you kind of feel like you've done what you can in this connection, and you know what you're worth. You know the kind of love that you are worth. And you're not going to settle for less. It feels like you have evolved in a way as well, where maybe in the past you accepted certain behaviors that didn't make you feel really good, but you just did because you have so much compassion and such a gentle heart. But it feels like you have learned the lesson of knowing to walk that line between having empathy for another person while also not neglecting your own needs, and while maintaining empathy and compassion while not just dishonoring your own self. Oh, well, we have the Fool that wanted to peek out, so that could be a sign of a new chapter, of a new beginning within this connection. Leo energy could be significant. The entire summer could be significant, because I mentioned Gemini, Cancer, now Leo. So June, July, August could be a significant time. I feel like there's also some Venus stuff happening in the sky. So I'm not the best at astrology, so I'm not going to try to explain that to you, but I really like that one guy called Evan. I'm visualizing his face, but I wish I could show you. I guess I could just stick a photo of him in there, but I'm not gonna do that. But Evan Nathaniel Grimm, maybe? I hope I'm not making that up. But anyway, let's keep going. Can we clarify? Thank you. We have the Page of Swords. I saw this just now. We have the Page of Swords in reverse. Right now, this person is really, really overthinking about if they've really messed up. We have Strength. Leo energy is coming through again. Can we clarify the King of Cups in... Oh, thank you. We have the Three of Wands and we have the Lovers. This person, I think, may be more inclined to show you through their actions and the effort that they are going to be willing to put in. We have the Ace of Wands that flew onto the ground as well. This is such a beautiful, 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 beautiful energy. I think they recognize that they're going to maybe have to decide to either take some sort of action, and this might mean leaving something behind for them as well. Maybe a stable situation, maybe a job, maybe a country, maybe a city. But there is so much passion here towards this connection. This feels really energizing, like they are becoming more energized. They are waking up. And maybe in the past, this energy felt more like they were just burning themselves out, and maybe it felt the same way to you, but it feels like things are really, really shifting in this connection. for the better. I think they really feel this connection in their heart space, and it feels almost like their heart space is cracking open and growing. It's quite a liberating energy. Bottom deck energy is the Magician in reverse, so I don't think this person necessarily knows exactly what to do, but I think they're coming to realize what they want and what could be possible within this connection, that it doesn't need to just be done. I don't think this is something they have experience with. I don't think they have ever separated from someone and wanted to get back with them or wanted to go back. I think they can compartmentalize that quite well. I think they can deal with that quite well, in the sense that obviously they would have like missed past partners or grieved, but not in a way where they are just hung up on them the way that they are hung up on this connection. So I think that is entirely a new experience for this person. Let's get some channeled messages. To finish off your reading. What message wants to come through? We have healing, which is further confirmation that something is shifting. Something is growing. Everything is falling apart. This is that tower moment kind of energy, but I think any illusions that they had about their own self and about this connection, those are falling apart as well, because it almost feels like the foundations of this connection were rotting a bit, and it needed to fall apart so that things could come together better. At least I think that's how this person perceives it. I'm trying to understand you better. I definitely feel so. I think they're trying to understand your perspective better, and maybe in the past they kind of just discredited it completely. Mirroring, which we already talked about. I'm learning from my mistakes. I love how how well the reading matches these messages, like how much it confirms all of the energies. That's too many. Can I get one more? What message wants to come through? I value the memories we made. I'm not gonna do the message bag for now because it is a bit windy. But yeah, actually, I think, anyway, we'll do it now. We'll do it because I mentioned it and I had no intention of doing it in the first place. But since I mentioned it, I guess it is relevant for you. So let's see what wants to come out. Is there anything else that wants to come through for my child, please? All right, I guess these two were it. I wish I was brave enough. And I have changed. Well, transformations. To finish off, I will pull some affirmations. Because this feels just kind of random to end it on these messages. That was not my best shuffle, but you live and you learn. That is also further confirmation, definitely. All right. What what affirmations would be most helpful for my pile twos? We have pride. I love myself and I see myself in everyone. This also kind of ties back to this mirroring energy for me. I think the two of you have the potential to understand each other really well, but there may have just been some wounds and fears and anxieties that got in the way. We have judgment. I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. And one more, please, universe. What is it? We have two. Okay. Denial. I acknowledge my fear, but I replace it with the insight of awareness. And we have death. I'm learning that endings are merely beginnings. And what does that mean exactly? All right. I think this is all I have for you, my beautiful pile twos. Let me know if this resonated. If not, there could be a message for you in another reading or one of the other piles, but I guess if it didn't resonate, you wouldn't be here anymore, because it's 35 minutes of your life. But anyway, I am sending you tons of love. Take care. See you in the extended or not. But see you soon, hopefully, either way. And bye. Hello, my beautiful pile threes, and welcome to your reading. If you chose the, what was this one again? The Lioness Oracle Tarot, which is this one, and the Rose Quartz. So today we are looking at the current energy of the person on your mind towards you and your connection. We're starting with these oracle cards, then we have some tarot, then some channeled messages, then some affirmations, and we also will have an extended, but I will talk about that later. So let's get into this. We have the starfish. I thought of the name Patrick. It's inevitable, but maybe the name Patrick or Pat, something along those lines, is significant. We have number 70, spirits to guide you. We have number 22, service. We have the Hierophant. We have the Lovers. And we have the Ace of Swords. I also realized this is, we have 5 and then 6, so progression, but we'll get into that in a second. But we have Taurus and Gemini energies. Those could be significant, but they don't have to be. We also have Pisces, I believe, and integrity. This person, they're quite impressed by you. But at the same time, there is this energy of them being on the outside watching you, or being on the outside looking in. Also with this like image with the door and the fact that we have this starfish, it just feels like they are not where you are. This is quite an interesting energy because of that, because it doesn't necessarily have to be a long distance kind of thing. It could also just be that they feel they are not where you are in terms of their own path, their own journey. Like they are not as wise as you, or they have not experienced as much as you, or they are just not where you are with yourself. You may have an age gap with this person, and maybe that's why it's coming through in that way. And sorry about the camera, I had to readjust it. This person might be someone who is very detail oriented and someone who's very, very observant. Also because I randomly got obsessed with the camera angle, though maybe not randomly, because Virgo rising. But either way, this person might be someone who is very detail oriented and someone who truly tries their best, but at the same time, it feels like they may often feel like they're like an apprentice. Like you are the magician and they are the apprentice. For some of you, this may not be a romantic connection. I know most of you come here for that type of thing, but in this pile more than any of the other ones, even though we do have the lovers, it feels like there is some kind of almost like mentor or guide quality to how this person sees you. It doesn't have to be that you're older than them at all. It just feels like this person sees you as a guide of some sort, maybe on their healing journey. Maybe you've given them a lot of good advice. Maybe you are literally a teacher. Maybe you tutored them for a class. Whatever it may be, they kind of have this feeling of like they look up to you. There is a bit of an energy of this person maybe having this idealized image of you and what this connection could be. But at the same time, with this Pisces energy, this feels a bit like a fantasy, like it's so far away, or it's like forbidden, or there are maybe your families are against it and they take that seriously, or you have cultural differences. Whatever this may be, it feels like this person feels responsible towards you, but also they feel responsible to keep a distance, or to kind of have this clear-cut energy of where you are and then where they are. It feels like there is a separation here, but you don't need to have like been with this person, because this also feels a bit like this person is crushing on you, and maybe they didn't have an opportunity to get to know you in every meaning of the word, or in every aspect of who you are. It feels like maybe they've seen you in one type of environment or in one type of context. This could also be like a coworker or someone you were in class with. This feels a bit more like almost like this person is your fan. If you use social media, this person like could have seen you on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, and I don't know, it just feels like there is this barrier between the two of you, and I feel like this is not going to be a barrier because of separation or because you blocked them for all of you. I think this person feels incredibly drawn to you, but at the same time, it seems so, I'm gonna say spiritual, but honestly, I don't even know what exactly I should say to describe the energy that I'm feeling, but it feels very light. It feels very airy. It feels very difficult to put my finger on it, but it is there, and this person feels it. I think they feel quite a strong attraction towards you, but at the same time, and like they want your approval or they want to impress you, they really feel like you stay true to yourself. Even if they don't know you, I feel like they see you as really authentic, really genuine, and they seem to really admire that. Admiration is coming through very, very, very strongly. But it also feels like there are certain aspects of your life that they kind of don't really know a lot about. Like they have to fill in the gaps themselves. And this could be because maybe you don't know this person very well, or they don't really interact with you. It could also be because I feel like for most of you, this isn't an ex. I don't know why. I just get that feeling. This is like a crush, or someone that you haven't really had a chance to explore a romantic connection with, or haven't really had a chance to really deepen your personal relationship with. That's what it feels like to me. Like there is a sense of responsibility, there is a sense of keeping a distance because it's just how it is, because it's just what makes sense. But at the same time, this person really, really, really admires you. I think they're very intrigued by you. I think they feel very drawn to you. I think they're really observing you. Not in a creepy way, but more so they just enjoy seeing you. Like, it makes them feel good. It makes them feel like dreamy. It makes them feel, I don't know, there's a lot of daydreaming kind of energy here. And for some of you, it feels like this person, if they could, they would come talk to you, but it feels like maybe it doesn't feel like it's the time for that, or it's not the right thing to do. In this image, I'm seeing like a magnifying glass, like a lot of them. I don't know why, but suddenly that's what it looks like. And I feel like this person, again, is very kind of detail oriented and like observant and really in their head mainly about this connection rather than doing a lot on the outside. It's like almost like there is this unspoken rule that this can best exist in their head. This can best be something that they imagine about, that they daydream about, that they fantasize about. And maybe there is a fear around, like, if they were to do something, the fantasy would be broken, or they would do something wrong, or they would ruin it. But this person, where they are, they feel so connected to you, and it feels like a feeling of comfort as well. Like, they are comfortable in this space that they have created for this connection. I heard cloud 9. Maybe the number 9 is significant for someone, but also I think, again, this person is like, it's like, I don't know, it's just a lot of daydreamy kind of energies. So it's really hard to place what exactly may have happened between the two of you, because if there is a past, I feel like this person is not in a place where they are taking that into account very much. It feels almost like they have put all of that on a shelf if you do have a past with this person, and they're just thinking about right now, or they're just kind of in this more dream world kind of place where what happened in the past doesn't really matter. Which doesn't have to be the objective truth at all, but from this person's perspective, it's like it feels quite disconnected from reality in some sense. Like something almost doesn't add up, or something is just missing. Like there isn't, the full story isn't there, mainly because I think for most of you, this is someone who doesn't know you too well, or you have just met, maybe you just matched on an app or something, and you've been talking for a bit. Maybe you've never seen this person in person. Maybe like you met them online and you've been talking online. But whatever this barrier is, this person does not have the full idea of what your life is, what your life looks like, what you are like on like a day-to-day basis. It feels filtered in some way, their perception of you. But let's get into the tarot. I am intrigued. And before I get into that, I will mention what we're doing in the extended before I forget. We will be looking at the foreseeable full potential of this connection and the future of it based on current energies. We will get tons of channeled messages from the person on your mind, and we will get channeled messages from your higher self as well. And we will finish off with advice. So if you're interested, the link for that will be down below. Well, let's get back into this now. I hope I won't have to censor any of the cards in this deck, because I know there are a few, and YouTube does not like that. Alright. This person's current energy towards pile 3, please, universe. What is this person's current energy towards pile 3? What's this person's current Where are they? Okay. We have the Ace of Cups and we have the Empress. I don't know if I'm gonna have to... Anyway, we'll just do it anyway because I don't want to deal with YouTube. We have the Empress and we have the Ace of Cups in reverse. Taurus energy or Libra energy could be significant. We have the Nine of Wands in reverse. For some of you, this person might be like infatuated with you in some way. And if it is someone from your past, it's someone who disregards like the reality of the past for whatever reason. Maybe because they feel it doesn't affect the current situation. We have the King of Wands in reverse. This is definitely someone who doesn't feel like they match up to your energy and your level. I think they feel inferior in some way. This doesn't have to be because of how you've treated them. I feel like for most of you it's not. I think it's just how they perceive it to be. We have the Ace of Swords in reverse as well. This person's perception of you and this situation, it seems quite distorted in some way. Like it seems like it's not necessarily grounded in reality, but it's just kind of what they're assuming for the time being. Maybe you haven't gotten the opportunity to talk to this person a lot or talk to them lately. We have the Five of Wands. They feel like they would need to fight for your attention. They feel like you have a lot of options, and if they don't act fast enough, you would just kind of forget about them or not pay that much attention to them anymore. You would have other things to do, other people to be with, other responsibilities. So there is definitely a sense of like, I don't have too much time here. I don't have a lot of time to wait. I don't have a lot of time to pause. I don't have a lot of time to doubt this. But at the same time, it feels a bit like their hands are, they might feel like their hands are tied. Or like, I'm gonna have to, okay. We have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Can we clarify the Nine of Wands in reverse, please? We have the Eight of Cups. We have the Knight of Pentacles. For some of you, I get the feeling that this is someone from your past, but they are not really willing to see the situation for what it is. It feels a bit like they are not taking a whole lot of responsibility or a whole lot of accountability, and they are just daydreaming about the situation and really thinking about you, but it feels like they're doing this from a distance, and you might feel almost like you're being watched, or you might feel like you're reminded of this person very often, even if you're in no contact or you haven't heard from them in a long time. It almost feels like they're trying to build up to something, but they also feel like they're not able to. So it feels like there is a lot of daydreaming, a lot of thinking, but not a whole lot of movement. We have the Chariot in reverse as well. We have so many reversals, and reversals are not always bad. I know they have a bad reputation, but sometimes I think the reversal meaning like is some better than the upright, or sometimes it's just a variation, and it always depends on the story, the narrative, what the other cards are, the context, all of these things. So reversals are not necessarily a bad thing, but in this case, I feel like it is an energy of not moving. It is an energy of having placed a lot of mental boundaries, a lot of like, I need to stay back from this for whatever my reason might be. For some of you, I think if this is an ex, for example, it could be because they might feel you would not be receptive to them anymore and you're just kind of done with them, but yet they still have this energy of, I really admire this person, I am really impressed by this person. But they may have been someone who really hurt you, for example, and it feels like they might be ignoring that part of the narrative, if that is the case. If this is someone you have just met, one interpretation I would have for this kind of energy of not taking responsibility is, well, nothing has happened within your connection, but also I feel like this is someone who doesn't want heavy, who doesn't want like to complicate things between the two of you, who doesn't want to mess it up or do something wrong or do something that they feel is wrong, or kind of just take the wrong step. I feel like this is someone who's a bit confused in terms of how to act towards you, even though they think about you very, very, very much. And I think they find you very attractive, whether this is like romantic and it's sexual attraction or romantic attraction, or it's just that they are attracted to your energy in terms of like you being a guide to them or you teaching them something. But regardless, they have the sense that they need to fight for your attention. And this is quite an interesting energy because it almost feels like they haven't conceived a lot of thoughts and feelings about this connection yet. Like there's just this gap, this barrier. And that's why I get the sense that it's either new and someone who doesn't quite know you too well yet, or it is someone from the past who is choosing to ignore the past of this connection and is more so focusing on just you and how they perceive you, rather than maybe their own actions or how they've made you feel in the past, or the things they may have done or said. So this is quite an interesting energy. I don't know if it has ever appeared on this channel before, so welcome if you are new, or maybe this is just, yeah, I don't know. But let me know how this resonates for you, if this is your pile. I'm gonna try to clarify this a bit more because who is this person? Yeah, see, we have stillness. This is someone who finds you so beautiful, so graceful, either energetically or physically or both, depending on your situation. I don't want to make it creepy for anyone if this is like a family member type of thing, but I don't want to assume that it's romantic and say something weird. Yeah, we have stillness. So there isn't movement. We have taking risks. This might be someone who, in like a spontaneous burst of something, of courage, could try to go after what they want. And maybe that's why their energy is coming through, because this is maybe an option that is appearing for some of you. Someone who's had their eye on you, or someone whose attention you've grabbed and they're just kind of mesmerized by your energy. And we have miracles. It feels so far-fetched to this person for some reason. And we have love coming through as well. I don't know why they feel it is so far-fetched. I don't know if it's the history of it, if you have some, or is that they feel you're out of their league or something along those lines. But it just feels very difficult to this person to feel like they could achieve this, and yet they feel so drawn to you. I'm getting very strong Pisces energy, or Scorpio, or both, even though we don't really have the majors for those cards here. I don't know. Additionally, those are the signs that are coming through. Is there anything else that wants to come through from this deck? Who is this person? How are they feeling? We have stillness coming out again. And we have love as the bottom deck energy again. This just really feels like an admirer, or someone who has cared for you in their own way from afar, or who has developed an interest in you from afar. But it feels like you are not dealing with them right now necessarily, or like if you are talking to them, it's not like you've fully figured out each other's life story or something along those lines. Let's get some channeled messages from this person, because, oh, I was shuffling and I dropped a card. We have inner peace. I do feel you bring this person peace. It's like you comfort them, but you may not even be really doing anything or interacting with them properly. Unless like this is someone you met on a dating app or someone you are in long distance with. In that case, that would explain the kind of gap in the physicality and the very progressed emotionality I feel here. In that sense, that would make sense. But let's see what this person would say if they could say anything at all. We have you deserve better immediately coming out, which really, again, ties back to this energy of feeling like maybe they don't match up to your level. We have not the right time. What would this person say? You need more time. I can feel it. This especially, I feel, applies if, like, this person is planning on taking some kind of action. Not even planning, but maybe they're just waiting for a window of opportunity. It doesn't feel necessarily strategic. It feels like if they are to take a move towards you, it would more so be out of, like, an impulse. We have, is it too late? So much about time and timing. I was stupid. I'm realizing that now. Maybe they feel like they're too late for some of you. Maybe for some of you this is a friend and you were in and out of relationships while they had feelings for you. We have triggers coming out as well. And bottom deck energies, I want the absolute best for you. And triggers is a message I included to kind of represent triggered energy. This, especially if there is a past, this connection could have been very triggering for both of you, but you may have dealt with it in different ways. And maybe this person could have swept some things under the rug, or could be hoping that you could sweep some things under the rug. If you were to continue with this connection or have a new beginning. I'm just quickly going to see if there is anything else we need to know about this person. Actually, not these. I'm gonna quickly get a different deck. Where did I put you? I got it. Okay. So, just to give you an idea, maybe you already know, and maybe I'm just overreacting. This is just, I'm not quite sure what to make of this energy. So I hope you know, or that this makes sense to you in some way. We have joy, play, celebration, fun, lightness. You make this person very happy, but you may feel like that's odd. That's the feeling I get, or like that's unexpected. We have truth, all perspectives in one. If you have someone in mind, but you're suspecting and you're thinking it's probably not them, it's probably them. We have retreat, self-love, self-care. I was gonna say Claire, so maybe the name Claire is important. Self-care, contemplation, and rest. I also feel the need to mention the name Phil, because, you know, Modern Family, but yeah. We have innocence, unconditioned, trusting, vulnerable, pure. It feels like crush energy, but maybe some of you actually have a past with this person, but they've just somehow moved into this energy of crushing on you, of feeling butterflies and feeling, yeah, I don't know. When we have chaos, confusion, turmoil, falling apart. And union. Unity, oneness, merging. If this is someone from the past, or even if they are new, I think this is someone who thinks about what could be. And like what the ideal state of this connection would be. But then again, they may not be doing a whole lot necessarily to get to that point so far. I also just saw 3113, which is a mirrored number. As I stopped shuffling, we have self-worth, and I'm really drawn to the boundaries message here, because I really strongly feel a boundary or a barrier here. Like, they cannot get to you. They feel like even if they wanted to, they would not be able to. Maybe because of self-limiting beliefs, but maybe because of an actual barrier. But let's get some affirmations for you. To finish off your reading, what affirmation do my pile threes need right now, please, universe? What affirmations? We have pride. I love myself and I see myself in everyone. We have death. I am learning that endings are merely beginnings. Interesting. These both came out for pile one as well, but the energy is completely different. So I'm not sure what to make of that. We have service coming out, which was also in the first part of your reading. So maybe Virgo energy is significant, or the context, the concept of service is important. I feel good when I can help others. And we have trust. I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly, especially if you're trying to figure out who this person is or what their intentions are. I feel like you are very intuitive and you are very wise, which I feel is the energy that attracted this person to you in the first place. Is there anything else that wants to come through? I'll give this one more shuffle. All right. I think on this note, this is all I have for you. I hope this made sense. I'm very curious to hear about what's going on if this is your pile. You don't have to tell me, obviously. Do what you want, but I am curious. So, but yeah, if you are joining me in the extended, I will see you there, and hopefully we'll figure out a whole lot more of what's going on. But if not, that is also perfectly okay. I am sending you tons of love. Take care, and bye.